Blocking football. A punter kicks a football, its height h of t in meters, t seconds after the kick is given by the equation h of t equals to minus 4.9 t square, so this is minus 4.9 t square, plus 18.24 t plus 0.8. The height of an approaching blocker's hand is modeled by the equation g of t equals to minus 1.43 t plus 4.26 using the same t. Can the blocker knock down the punt? If so, at what point will it happen? Now, it can be blocked. That means at that instance of time, both h of t is equals to g of t, right? So basically we have h of t equals to g of t, and if we can find a valid value of t, then it can happen. So let's try to figure out how it could be found. So h of t is minus 4.9 t square plus 18.24 t plus 0.8, and g of t is given as minus 1.43 t plus 4.26. Now we can bring all the terms on one side and solve for t. So we get minus 4.9 t square plus 18.24 t minus becomes plus 1.43 t, and then we have plus 0.8, and this is minus 4.26 equals to 0. That is minus 4.9 t square, and let's add these terms using calculator. So we have 18.24 plus 1.43 equals to 19.67. So we have plus 19.67 t, and here we have 4.26 minus 0.8 with a negative sign, we get 3.46 minus 3.46 equals to 0. Now in this case, this is a quadratic equation and we want to find what t is. So best thing at this stage is to use the quadratic formula, right? So the quadratic formula is, if you remember, you have to remember quadratic formula when you are doing these kinds of equations. It is t is equals to minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2 times a, right? Now here a is minus 4.9, b is 19.67, and c is minus 3.46. So let's substitute these values and find our answer. So what we get here is t equals to minus b, that means minus of 19.67 plus or minus square root within brackets minus of a b square, which is 19.67 square, minus 4 times a is minus 4.9 times c, which is minus 3.46 square root, divided by 2 times a, which is 2 times minus 4.9, right? So that is the equation, and now we can use calculator to calculate this value. 0.67 square minus 4 times 4.9 times 3.46 equals to 319.09. Square root gives us 17.86. So we'll write it here. So we have t equals to minus 19.67 plus and minus 17.86. 3, it is written, let's take 3 also, divided by minus of 9.8, right? So those are the options. So we'll take, if I take minus of minus, so we have 2 possible situations here. So let's figure out what is the possible value. So we have 19.67 plus 17.863 equals 2 divided by 9.8. That gives us a value of 3.82 seconds, right? So one option is 3.82 seconds, and the other option is when we do minus of 19.6 plus 17.83 and then divide by minus 9.8. That is also positive, right? So we get 19.67 minus 17.863 equals 2 divided by 9.8, which is equals to 0.184. 0.184. So these are the two possible times when the blocker can really block the ball. Now what we can do is, at these possible situations, we can find the height, and whichever is the valid height should be the valid answer, correct? So we have g of t, we'll use this g of t to find the height. So if I multiply g of t with 3.82 with 1.4, I get a very big negative number. So g of t becomes a negative answer. So that becomes invalid answer for this particular situation. So the valid answer could only be 0.184 seconds, right? So we found that this is invalid since g of 3.82 will be negative, right? Now let's find the value at 0.184. So that could be a positive answer, and that could be the real answer. So we get g of 0.184, and that is, we'll plug in this equation and find the answer. That is 1.43 times 0.184 equals 2, and that is with a negative sign, and then we'll plus to this 4.26, and so we get 3.99. So that is, well, in meters, 3.99 is quite a bit, but that is a positive answer, so that could be a possible point. But if I put 3.82, then 3.82 times 1.43 is actually equals to 5.46. Now minus 5.46 plus 4.26 will give us minus 1 meter. So that is a negative answer, so that will not work in this particular situation. And therefore, our answer is that at t after 0.184 seconds, the blocker can block, and the height will be 3.99 meters, which is pretty high also. Anyway, theoretically, we get that as the practical answer for the given situation. Thank you.